I'm Michelle, and today we're going to do some Pilates specific for runners. That's going to help your muscles recover after you've had either a hard run or a long run. Those tight areas of the body, like our hip flexors, our IT band, and even the feet, including the sole of the foot and then all the way up the back. So a nice balance of both upper and lower body to stretch and tighten the core muscles. So let's get started. We're going to use a foam roller today. So a foam roller, this one has nice little grooves on it, which helps to stay connected to the foam roller. And it's specific for exercise. So in this particular foam roller, it's a great tool to use because you have the ability to get these little grippies and to stop you from sort of sliding around on it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set it down in front of us, and let's put our feet on top. And we're just going to start with a little leg slide. So let's get comfortable on our mat. Have a lie down on your back, and bring that foam roller nice and close to your bum. So on your breath, we're going to exhale and start to reach the foam roller away, and then inhale as we bring it in. So let's exhale, slide the foam roller away, and inhale to bring it back in. So you're in a nice neutral pelvic position as you're doing this motion, and you're just allowing your feet to glide over the foam roller and then bringing it back in, just waking up through those core muscles and letting the hips just relax. So let's come back to our start position now and allow the knees to open out to the side. So we're going to stretch into those inner thigh muscles now. Reach the foam roller away, rotate, and then pull it back in. And again, we reach it away. So we're making a nice little circle, and this is just your hip release. So it's more challenging than we think to stretch a tight muscle. We want to give it some mobility first, and then you can really stretch and open up those tight spaces. So let's do a couple more, rolling it, and then we're going to switch the directions. So now we're going to go straight out with those legs. Rotate so the whole leg turns laterally and bring it back in. So we reach it away and pull it back in. And let's do two more. And pulling it back in. One more just like that. And then we bring it back to center. Good. So if your mat has rolled up like mine has, just go ahead and take a second to stretch it back out. And now we're going to take the foam roller underneath the thighs. So we want to bring it nice and high underneath the thighs. And then allow one knee to float in towards your center and the other leg to stretch out so that you're getting that length through the back of the leg and the front of the hip. And so the leg that we're holding on to, we're going to just hold in the opposite hand and bring it slightly across. Just starting to open up through the outside of that hip in those tight spaces. And then let's bring it back to center and go to the other side. And then inhale. Now let's take this leg back to tabletop and go into a nice little hip stir. So allowing that hip, again, nice range of motion and mobility before we get into a little bit more of the core. And then switch and go the other way. 3 and 2 and 1. And slide that leg down onto the foam roller, and let's bring the other one up. Hug it nice and tight in toward your center, and then draw it across your body on your exhale. Breathe into those spaces. Inhale as you come back to center, and then let the knee fold open to the outside. Breathe into it. Then bring it back to center and going into a nice little hip stir, allowing that femur bone just to feel nice and heavy inside the hip socket, and then switch the direction of your circle. So we're doing about 4 or 5 circles in one direction and then the other. And then bringing it back to center. Allow both legs to stretch over the foam roller. Take a nice deep inhale. And then exhale, allow your feet to come back onto the mat. So we're going to go into a hip roll with the foam roller here. And after we do a few of those rolls through the hip, then we're going to allow our hips to be propped up on the foam roller. So let's start by taking a nice deep inhale. Press your feet into the mat and exhale as you start to scoop your tailbone and reach your hips up towards the ceiling. Breathing in And then exhale, continue as you come back down. Inhale. And exhale, start to scoop and roll those hips up. Inner thighs are connecting. The glutes are activated, the hamstrings are activated, and then I'm slowly coming down. And of course, we have that core turned on. Let's try one more, just like that. We roll those hips up. Good, and then from here, let's take a hold of the foam roller and slide it right in between your tailbone, above your tailbone, and up near your lumbar spine. So we want to be able to lift both legs with ease off of the ground. So you should feel nice and balanced with your hips up from here. So we're going to go into a single leg stretch. So allow your arms just to rest over top, letting your upper body stay connected to the mat, and we're going to slide one leg out and then switch and switch. Now, as you do this from this elevated position, you're going to have a chance to really stretch into those hip flexors. So let's go for 4. And 3. Exhale 2. And last 1. So if you're like me, and a lot of runners feel tightness in through their hips after their run. And I had a run yesterday, so I am feeling those tight areas. We are going to work on that right now. So let's glue those inner thighs together. And hold on to the edges of or the outside of your foam roller as you allow your knees to go from one side to the other. So just think like windshield wiper motion. And we're rolling over those tight spaces, letting the fascia encases the muscle, start to open up and release. And let's try a couple more. And then the next stage to this is we're going to reach to one side and then extend those legs to the 45. Really engage that core strongly, come back to center, and then reach it over to the other 45. Back to center, and reach, and back to center, and reach those legs away. Good, let's come back to center, and we're going to extend those legs up towards the ceiling and go into a nice hamstring stretch. So let one leg reach down and the other leg reach towards you as you stretch and open up the back of that leg. Feel that nice length through the hips and also the hamstrings. So this leg here, my hip flexor is expanding and opening, and on this leg here, it's my hamstring. And then I switch. And again, same thing, just allow gravity to help you open up through that tightness in the front of the hip. And breathe deeply. And then exhale, bring both those legs together. Now let's grab the edges of the foam roller again, just so your hips aren't sliding off. If you need to make any adjustments, you can go ahead and do that. My legs are going to go back into a scissor, and this time I'm going to go around and switch the legs. Then bring the legs together, and let's do that again. So we let the one leg go down, inhale, and exhale, swivel those legs and bring the legs together. And let's do one more on this side. Let that leg come down, swivel and come back. And then the legs come back together. So now we're going to start with the other leg down, and we swivel those legs and switch them. Bring it back up. That leg goes down, the left side, and swivel and bring it back. And one more time. Reach and exhale as you swivel the legs. And then bring it back. All right, we're going to let those legs come towards us. So we're stretching all the way up the legs and down into the back. Big inhale here. And then exhale, float your legs all the way to the 45. And let's do it again. Up and reach. Now I'm staying connected to the foam roller here because I'm getting more of that mobility and range of motion. And I'm not worried about going all the way over just yet. And I'm bringing it back to the 45. Bend the knees. Place one leg and the other leg down. Come up off of the foam roller and slide your hips down. You should feel a nice connection to the mat with both sides of those hips. Now I'm going to hold on to the foam roller. And I want to take a breath in. And then exhale, peeling up. Chin comes to the chest. Allow the foam roller to come onto your thighs. And continue to roll yourself up as you stretch your legs out. Roll the foam roller away. Big inhale. And then exhale, let's stack the spine nice and easy. Good. Now we're going to take the foam roller underneath the back. So we want to prop ourselves up so that our mid-back is resting on top of the foam roller. And you'll be in a little bit of flexion here, but we're going to go into those tight spaces in the back and really open up through the chest. So we're going to interlace our hands behind our head for support. Press your feet equally into the mat, and then start to reach back into a little bit of extension. Now, don't worry about going too far, because at first it's going to feel tight, and that's all right. We want to loosen that area up, so we're going to make this a gradual range of motion. So as we do this, we're going to increase that range. So we exhale, open up the chest, inhale, come back up into a flexed position. So you're allowing that spine to open over the foam roller and then bringing it back up. Let's try 2 more. And reach it back. And go ahead and lift. And one more time, reach over the foam roller, expand through that chest, and then bring it back up. Now we're going to press our feet into the mat, and we're going to elevate those hips to shoulder bridge. From that elevated position, we're going to roll the foam roller up and down the mid-back. So we're going from the scapula, or the shoulder blades, down the ribs. And we're just moving that foam roller in through those tight spaces, and after about 4 or 5, we're going to come back down, reach the hands up in front, slide your legs straight out in front of you, and start to peel your spine up into your spine stretch. Reach for those toes, and then let's stack it and bring yourself back. Just adjust your mat if you need to. All right, so we're going to allow ourselves to roll back into the foam roller. And this roll up is just going to give us an opportunity to find movement in the back. So let's peel ourselves down 1 vertebrae at a time until my shoulder blades are touching. I'm going to lift those arms up, circle, and then start to peel myself all the way up into my stretch position. Inhale, lift, and then exhale, scoop that belly, rolling it down again. Inhale as I open, and then exhale, circle to come up. So what I like to do is, as I'm doing this, allowing the foam roller to move a little bit further away from me, which makes it a little bit more challenging each time I go down. And I reach, reach, reach. Now the tips of my shoulder blades are touching. Circle and then roll it up until the last time I do it, I should be able to go all the way down, vertebrae by vertebrae, reaching those hands back behind me and stretching. Allow the ribs just to open up a little bit here, and then exhale, connect your shoulders to the ground, connect your ribs, and then start to float yourself all the way back up. One more time. Bring it back in, and then come up. All right, so we're going to flip over to all fours now. And let's bring the foam roller right back underneath our hands. So your shoulder and wrists are in one line. We don't want it to be too far away from us, because that'll put a little bit of strain that we don't want on our wrists and our shoulders. And let's go into our 4-point kneeling position. Now, the nice thing about the foam roller is we're going to get a little more range of motion here in our cat-cow. So let's go into our cat stretch. Roll it up and pull that foam roller towards you. Soften your elbows. And then exhale, open up into your cow. Allow the foam roller to reach away. So we roll it up. And exhale, reach. Giving your spine that chance to really expand. Open it up. And exhale, reach it away. Let's try one more just like that. Roll it up, and exhale as you reach it away. So one of our main muscle groups that gets really tight when we're doing our running is our quads and our hip flexors. So we went through a little bit of mobility for those hips. Now we're going to take the foam roller to the top of our thighs, and we're going to flush out that lactic acid that builds up when you're going for a long run. So we're going to pop ourselves up on our forearms. Pull that belly button to your spine so you're not overextending your back. You want to pull up into those abdominals and keep your back supported the whole time. Now we're going to pick those legs up, point your toes away from you, and then use your forearms to allow yourself to roll forward and then back. So you're getting that foam roller to come down the thigh. And for some people this can be very sensitive. So go nice and easy. And then turn your feet out a little so you can get a little closer to that inner thigh or that other part of your quadricep muscle. And then turn it in. So you're getting your sartorius, your vastus medialis, all the different areas of the thigh that you can feel when you're running. And supporting the movement with your core, pulling it up. 2 more. Roll those legs, turn them in, and then come back to parallel. And let's place the knees on the mat. Bring the foam roller on the ground in front of you and roll back into your shell stretch. Big inhale here, and then let's exhale and roll it up nice and easy. All right, let's do our IT bend. So we're going to come into a sideline position. We're going to prop ourselves up so the foam roller is underneath our rib here, and come into a nice little lateral flex position. Nice stretch through the side. Hips are stacked, knees are stacked, and then reach your fingertip towards your hip. Inhale, reach over, and exhale. And let's try 2 more. And bringing it back. And last one. And bringing it back. Good. Okay, so we're going to slide right on top of the foam roller. So my one hip is on top. Okay, so that bottom leg is the one we're going to focus on. Let's bring our other leg over top. So this will help minimize some of the strain you might feel on the side motion. So I'm going to use the forearm to help maneuver my body forward and roll the foam roller down that leg. Just releasing any of that tightness and helping the leg to feel a nice release. Now, once you've done this a few times and you want to intensify it, you can add both legs, lifting up into the core and allowing yourself to roll back and forth over the foam roller. Once you're done, place your knees back on the mat and we'll open up into a nice mermaid tail position. And let's take our hand to the foam roller, reach the outside hand up and over. Inhale, lift, and exhale back down. Reaching up and over. Inhale, lift, and back. Let's do 1 more and then add our rotation. So we come up and exhale, rotate the spine, reaching both hands onto the foam roller. Keep reaching it away. Feel that nice openness through the chest. And then exhale, peel it back in towards you. Come into a little bit of spine extension. Reach the top hand up and over. Good. Now I'm going to lean into my foam roller. Grab the back leg so that the heel's coming towards my bum. Squeeze your glute and allow that hip to reach forward. Big inhale here. Feel that stretch down the center of your quad. And then exhale, let it go. Send those legs in front of you, give them a shake, and let's switch sides. So we're going to start with that side stretch up and over the foam roller. Remember to prop yourself up right on your rib cage and take that top hand up. Hips are stacked and reach it back. And exhale. Reach that side body, and you might feel that all the way down into your glutes. And then lift. And one more time, reach and lift. And now let's take the thigh right on top. So remember, it's that bottom leg that we're going to stretch out, and we're going to use the forearm and the hand to help support the movement as we roll down the leg, back and forth. And this can be quite sensitive for people, so make sure you are very aware of where you're feeling that tension. And just breathe through it. I promise you, you're going to feel better when you're done. And bringing it back, nice and easy. And again, this side's a little tighter for me, so I'm going to try both legs maybe a few times and see how that feels. And then when you're done, Take your legs onto the ground, set up for your mermaid tail, and again, reach that top hand up and over. Inhale back and exhale down. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and back. Now let's add into this rotation. Reach both hands and slide the foam roller away as your chest reaches towards the ground. Big breaths. Start to roll it back up. Come into a little bit of extension. Open the chest. And then take your top hand up and all the way back. Good. Let's grab onto that back heel, bringing it towards your bum. Feel that nice length through the front part of your thigh. Hold on to that stretch and breathe. Oh, it feels so nice to stretch that area out. And then let's release it. Good. Okay, continuing on, I'm just going to bring my mat back to center. Seems my mat got a little bit away from me there. I'm going to take one instep on top of the foam roller and bring myself into a lunge. So we're going to allow the hip to move in both forward and back direction. So the first thing I want you to do is tuck that toe underneath. So even if you can't touch the ground, really pull the foam roller in towards you with the instep of your foot. And let's take that back arm up towards the ceiling. Big breath in here. And then exhale. I'm going to squeeze my glute, and that's going to help facilitate the stretch through the hip flexor. And let's reach both hands up. Open the chest and come into what we call a cactus arm position. So your chest is getting a little bit of extension as you continue to reach. And then I'm going to reach those hands up. And then exhale, bring my hands forward onto my front knee. And now this hip is going to open up towards the front of my mat. So you get a very different feeling. So we went from stretching the whole front part of the quadricep to now a little bit more into our hip flexors. And let's take that outside hand around onto your knee and rotate over that shoulder. Adding a nice little bit of rotation can help with those obliques. And then let's come back to center. And we're going to slide our hips back and straighten this front leg out so that the hamstring can also be lengthened. Feel that nice length by flexing your foot. Stay connected to that core, pulling the belly in and breathe. Big inhale. And then exhale as you come back up to that lunging position, and let's switch sides. So taking the other leg forward, so remember that hip rolling forward, squeezing into the glute. Let's lift the hand up, and then the other hand, come into your cactus arms, open up that chest, keep reaching forward, use the instep to get a little bit more of that stretch. And then inhale, lift your arms up, exhale, take them forward onto your knee and allow the hip to come all the way forward. Let's take a big breath in. And then on your next exhale, slowly bring your hips back. Stretch that lead leg, pushing through the ball of the foot. Inhale to stay connected. And then exhale to come back up. Now, what Pilates session would be complete without challenging the core, am I right? So let's place those hands on the ground in front of us. We're going to go into a nice little knee lift. And then I'm going to stretch my body into a plank position. So come on into the middle of your mat. Make sure your fingers are spread out nice and wide. And think about your weight coming into all 5 fingers. Okay? Now that'll help with your wrist position. Glue those inner thighs together. And start to hover the knees. And then bring it back down. So being aware as you do this of lifting through the core. Lifting and holding. And bringing it back down. And let's do 2 more. And bring it back down. And 1, hold it there. Now let's lengthen the legs out to our plank position. Bring it back in and lower it down. And again, use your breath to help you. Inhale to lift. Exhale. Inhale and down. And we lift. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. Let's try 1 more. Inhale, lift, exhale, reach, bring it back, and lower it down. Let's stretch those fingertips in front of us and come back into a nice little shell stretch. From here, let's roll it up nice and easy. And coming onto the top of your sit bones. Let's bring the foam roller on the ground in front of you. All right, just getting into those abs from a different perspective. We're going to put our feet on top of the foam roller and find the underside of your hamstring. So your palms are just reaching underneath your thighs. And all we're going to do is scoop the belly and roll back into that half roll back position. Feet on the foam roller, extending away, and then sit up nice and tall, pull it back in. And again, scoop, rounding, and bringing it back in. So you want to tilt that pelvis forward and posteriorly towards you, bringing it back to your nice neutral position. Let's try one more. Roll it up, bring it back, and then extend those legs. Good. Let's open up the chest. Pull the foam roller a little closer to you. Using the foam roller to help you, we're going to lift the legs and reach them over the foam roller and then pull it back in. Now, if this is too challenging, you can put one foot on the ground and do that same thing. And bringing it back. And try the other side. Lift and bringing it back. And then try both legs and see if that works. One more time. Lift that chest, extend the legs, bring it back, and forward fold. Reach. Now, if you can place your foam roller a little closer to the middle of your calf, allow your hands to reach onto the foam roller and open your chest, you're going to feel that nice length from tailbone to head. Inhale, staying connected here. And then exhale as you roll it back up. All right, let's finish off with some core work on our back. So we're going to have a lie down, tailbone to head, in the center of your foam roller. So you want to peel ourselves down and make sure your head is on the foam roller all the way down to your tailbone. Bring your arms by your side, start to open and expand those arms, and then reach the fingertips up so you can see them. And again, soften, bring them back down, letting the chest expand. This feels really nice for those tight shoulders and tight chest muscles. Reach and bring it back. And last one. And bring it back. Allow the hands to roll down by your side. And now let's lift one leg up to tabletop. Good, so we're just going to bend and stretch. And your choice today, you can keep your head and neck down, but keep a nice neutral pelvic position. Or if you want to challenge those abdominals, you can go ahead and lift and bring your opposite hand underneath your head. As you reach the leg away and pull it back in. Reach it away and pull it back in. And your core, of course, is helping you stabilize while you're on top of the foam roller. Let's try 3 more. And 2. And last one. Now, this seems like a good time to add our rotation. So let's reach armpit towards the knee and then extend back down. Reach and extend the leg away. And 3 more. And reach. 2. And last one. Reach. Let's toe ball heel. Place that foot down. Bring your hand down by your side. Take a nice cleansing breath, and then let's do the other side. Leg comes up to tabletop. Bring that opposite hand behind your head and lift your head and shoulders. Start reaching the leg away and pulling it back in. Point those toes. Get nice and long through that leg for 4 and 3. Exhale 2. And last one. Now we're going to go across the body. So we cross armpit towards the knee and reach it away. Reach and stretch. 4 and 3. And if you go too fast, 2, you're going to feel like you're going to fall off that foam roller. So nice and steady throughout the exercise. Roll the foot down. Exhale, let those arms expand. Now imagine your shoulder blades are nice and heavy and they're connected to the foam roller. Our hands are going to lift slowly up towards the ceiling. And let's bring those palms together and finish off our workout for today. We're going to bend the elbows, reach the arms overhead so you're stretching right in between those shoulder blades and bringing it back down. And let's do it one more time. Reach those arms overhead, bring it back. Let's open those arms out to the side with a bent elbow, stretching that chest one more time. And then we're going to roll to one side and allow your body to come off of the foam roller. From that position, let's press ourselves up and come into a nice simple cross-legged position. Awesome. Let's check in with that body, see how we're feeling. Inhale, lift those arms up. And exhale, reach your spine forward. Oh, that feels so much nicer. And then roll it up nice and easy. So hopefully after your run, you give this nice foam roller a try, and you're going to feel awesome after you're done. Thanks for joining me.